happens is you go to the veterinarian and they give you vaccinations, and I'd like to go over what you need and what you don't need. They give you a slew of vaccinations, and at the same time, they want to be considerate, so they put a spot-on product on your dog. It doesn't matter if it's oral, if it's a spot-on, or if it's a collar. All of it gets into your pet's circulation and goes through their bloodstream every moment of every day for the 1 month or the 3 months that it works, so that there's enough in there to kill a flea and tick instantly if they're bitten. So basically, we're making our pets into poison-soaked sponges.
Yes.
And yes, there are areas where fleas are bad. I have a company called Deserving Pets, actually, and I'm not on the show to advertise it.
No. What is it, though?
I just want to mention that we carry stuff that is proven, and it's natural, and it works for fleas and ticks. And it's great. There's one herb in a pet chewy that you can chew, and the ticks don't even want to go on your dog. And the reason I carry all this is only because I'm so tired of people having to depend on these very toxic products. Not only that, but veterinarians will recommend that because I do phone consults all over the country, all over the world actually, but most of them are in the United States. People in Minnesota will be giving their dogs heartworm medicine all winter.
I was going to ask you about that. What do you? I've got so many. You know, I have 19 animals, Dr. Kelsa. I've got 12 cats and 7 dogs, and so I have just a huge amount of animals.
So where do you live?
I live on 3.5 acres, kind of out in the country, but close to downtown. I'm 15 minutes from downtown, but I'm on 3.5 acres.
But in what state? State?
Oh, in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, Dallas, Texas. Okay, yeah. So it's warmer there. The state makes a difference. So let's go through this. Heartworm is carried by mosquitoes. There's a heartworm map that you can look up, and it'll tell you every year and the incidence of heartworm in different states. And some states have virtually no incidence of heartworm. So you can see the heartworm is carried by the female mosquito.
Okay.
She only lives for 14 days. She has to find a dog who's infected, bite him, and then find your dog. That said, there are areas of the country where there is quite a lot of heartworm, Georgia, Texas, warmer areas.
Right.
So you actually need your heartworm preventive. Now, a lot of veterinarians sell heartworm, HeartGuard Plus, and HeartGuard Plus has a whole bunch of extra poisons in it that you don't need because your dog is not going to get intestinal worms every month. So I recommend the plain HeartGuard, which is plain ivermectin. And also they sell ivermectin, which you can arrange into a correct dose for your dog. They sell the horse stuff over the counter, but it's tricky. So if you got the HeartGuard that doesn't have anything in it but ivermectin, and heartworm medication works backwards 6 weeks. It never works forwards. It doesn't really prevent it. It kills any larvae that might have infected your dog, and it goes back 45 days. Mm-hmm. So you could give heartworm medicine every 5 weeks, every 6 weeks, as long as you don't forget. And you cover it. So let's say for someone who lives in Pennsylvania, if they gave a dose on May 1st, it would cover all of April and half of March. And mid-March in Pennsylvania, you're not going to be seeing any mosquitoes.
Right.
And if they give a dose every 6 weeks until November, they'll give 5 doses a year, and they'll cover the dogs completely for heartworm. So that's one thing. The next thing is if you're worried about, intestinal worms in your dog, and they can be very insidious, and if your dog goes to parks with other dogs, it's very easy to get worms. What I like to do, because fecal exams are usually a waste of money, and I know this because I take continuing education credits to keep my license, and they explain to me in great depth, which we're not going to explain here, how many false negatives there are. So people walk out of the veterinary office really proud that their dog has a negative fecal, but it means very little because 80% of the negatives are false negatives. So Panicure is fenbendazole over the counter at 1-800-PET-MEDS. It's the only place I know that's over the counter. You get it?
Yeah.
You worm your dog once a year, and you're good.
Wow.
So I sort of went over, and as far as flea and tick prevention, you have to see what you have. There's lots of natural stuff that's good. I know I'll have little Malteses that live in Wisconsin that are on flea and tick prevention in the middle of the winter in January.
Yeah.
Of course, they don't need it then. I mean, there's no fleas and ticks out.
What do you think is the best way to treat fleas and ticks?
Well, I have a whole bunch of natural products on Deserving Pets. I don't want to go into each of them in detail. A lot of them have worked for a long time. And we know that they're reliable, but it depends on what you have. Like some people have fleas, but they don't have ticks. Mm-hmm. Some people have ticks, but they don't have fleas. So each person we go over what their lifestyle of their dog is like. Mm-hmm. Some sprays you have to spray on every other week. Some sprays you have to spray on every day. And a lot of them are essential oils, but ones that actually work. So it really depends on your lifestyle and what's going on. When I lived in Pennsylvania, I never gave flea or tick medication to my dogs or cats because they never got fleas or ticks.
Interesting. Well, your book, The Allergic Pet, we're talking with Dr. Diva Khalsa. This is wonderful. You gave a shout out a couple of minutes ago, and I didn't catch it. What was it again? Not the 1-800-PETS, but there was another.
Oh, Deserving Pets. Deserving Pets is my site where I make microencapsulated human grade vitamins for dogs and cats. And then what I began to do was bring in stuff that really works so that people had options, and we guarantee it. If it doesn't work, you let us know, because we crawl everything that goes on that site. And I wanted it's not a big site. It doesn't have a lot of stuff. Like if you go to a lot of sites, there's so much you don't know what to choose from. But if you get this arthritis medicine, it's going to work for your dog's arthritis. So that's how we work it.
You said earlier that 1 of every 2 dogs, that's kind of scary, will get cancer. So what is a recipe for cancer?
Well, a recipe for cancer is what we're doing right now. I can tell you that many of these products, I don't want to mention them by name, but that we use to prevent fleas and ticks, if not all of them, are carcinogenic, and they've caused cancer in our dogs and cats. The rabies vaccine, I have an article from in Dogs Naturally called Villains and Vaccines. It carries actually a cancer virus that causes a few different kinds of cancer in cats and many different kinds of cancer in dogs. The kind of cancer that we're used to in cats is called fibrosarcoma. These cancers are called vaccine-associated sarcomas, VAS. And then they're running through Roundup, which is glyphosate. Now, there's been a huge, we could go on for 2 hours here, but there's been a huge lawsuit, and this man won. He was a caretaker of the ground somewhere, and he won that the glyphosate caused his terminal cancer. He won almost $500 million.
Wow.
And Monsanto, and people have been suing Monsanto that glyphosate causes cancer for years.
Yeah.
Finally, this guy won. And Bayer bought Monsanto. Finally, this guy won, and so Monsanto, of course, took it to an appeals court. And what they did was they lowered the award that the man got. They lowered it to $389 million. Wow. And so this sets a precedent, and now Bayer is going to be besieged by many, many lawsuits with people and Roundup. But, at least we're wearing shoes, and we're standing high. Our dogs aren't wearing shoes. And they're running through this stuff all the time. And we're spraying our lawns with herbicides and insecticides. And studies have shown truly an increase in bladder cancer in dogs who run around on lawns that are sprayed with herbicides and insecticides, the whole thing that you spray on the lawn.
What about growth hormones in the meat and poultry? Because
absolutely. Oh, I'm telling you, you guys are great. You're so smart. I'm just enjoying it. But we're not going to get through any of these questions. But this is extremely important. And I can go through it over and over again. There was something called the China study, and the China study was the largest study in cancer ever done in the world. It was done after we played ping pong during the Nixon presidency, and the premier of China got cancer, and these people from all over the world were finally allowed in and to check it. So they went to every different county or municipality or province of China, and everyone had to cooperate. And they found that the poor people never got cancer, and they found that the rich people all got cancer. And then what happened was they discovered that the poor people never really ate protein. Then they took rats, and making a really long story short, and they fed them less than 20% casein protein or more than 20% casein protein, and they injected them all with aflatoxin, which is a potent carcinogen. Every single one that had less than 20% protein did not get cancer. Every single one that got more than 20% protein did get cancer.
Wow.
Now, let's take a look. We talk about how dogs are like wolves. Actually, dogs have evolved for 65 million years with us, and there's something called the meat of the matter. It's an article that I wrote where a Norwegian researcher found enzymes in dogs that wolves don't have that are similar to cows and similar to ours that digest carbohydrates.
Wow.
So what happens is dogs actually digest carbohydrates, which all makes a lot of sense. They ate what we ate for 65 million years, and maybe 65 million years we ate raw meat, okay, and guzzled it down and put a liver in our mouths and, did whatever. But then we began eating all kinds of things, and we would feed dogs leftover human food. And so they evolved, and genes can change very rapidly. So dogs actually can digest carbs, and vegetables are good for them because they have lots of phytonutrients. Vitamins disappear in a couple of hours. Phytonutrients do things good for the body for about 12 to 24 hours.
Yeah.
Whether it's the sulfuramines in broccoli or whatever. So they're very healthy. So what happens is there's a raw meat fad for food in dogs, saying that they are like wolves, so they should do well. But wolves historically did not eat meat that was packed full of growth hormones. And what happens is when you eat meat, it goes into the intestine, and the decomposition of what it forms in the intestine is sulfur and ammonia. That has to be handled. So the body dumps its bicarbonate stores into the gut to handle the byproducts of ammonia and sulfur from the meat. And when the body does that, it becomes acidic. Now, what is acidity? Acidity is the pH actually measures the oxygenation of tissues. pH is actually measuring oxygenation. It's not just a piece of litmus paper that turns purple or green. So when you eat meat, it actually makes the body more acidic and makes the body less oxygenated, which opens the door for cancer. Additionally, our poor pets are soaked, really, in various different chemicals and toxins, and no one thinks about it. And last of all, we're feeding them meat that has a very high level of growth hormone in it, which stimulates and snaps off cancer, gets it started. And it's a recipe for disaster. Absolutely.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to go to break. You've just created your biggest fan right now. I can't wait. I hope you'll come back. I've been looking for a veterinarian for a very long time that believes like you do and has done all the research. And you've got a wonderful book. I would love for you to come back and do a regular segment here on One Life Radio. I'm just going to put it out there.
It would be my pleasure. I have a pretty tight schedule. I don't know how regular your schedule is, but I'd be happy to be back on several times for sure.
We need people educated about their pets. Our pets are like our family, and they're such an important part of our life. And what the education that you're putting out there is so critical for these times. Thank you so much, Dr. Deva Khalsa. She is the author of the book, The Allergic Pet: Holistic Therapies for Allergy-Free Dogs and Cats. I believe I got your copy. I got a copy of your book, I think, on Amazon. Is that a good place?
On Amazon, also in Deserving Pets, lots of different places. And if you like it, write a review, please, because nobody's writing reviews. Everyone's emailing me telling me how great it is, and nobody's writing reviews.
It's fabulous. I want to talk about vaccines when you come back in a couple of weeks.
And it was an absolute pleasure talking to you. We are somehow kindred spirits.
Same here. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Everyone, stay tuned. We've got Susie Batiste coming up and Autumn Connolly. You're listening to One Life Radio. Wellbeing Journal is a remarkable bi-monthly health publication esteemed by intelligent readers worldwide. It's available in print or digital, single issues or subscription. Its focus is on living a happy, healthy life and preventing or healing illnesses naturally. Preventing or healing cancer, arthritis, cardiovascular conditions, and digestive issues, as well as nutritional solutions for optimal health are regular subjects. Learn more at wellbeingjournal.com.
Hi, this is Vaughn Eaglin. As a licensed professional counselor and supervisor, I spend my career helping people cope with emotional problems. But today, I want to talk to you about nutrition. People ask me all the time for nutrition and weight loss advice, and I always find myself recommending a raw vegan protein, a food supplement called Warrior Blend by Sun Warrior. I wasn't always active and fit. In fact, I was very overweight as a child, and as a counselor, I must emphasize the importance of the mind-body connection. A clean body helps with a clean mind. Start today with Sun Warrior Blend Raw Vegan Protein. For more information, go to sunwarrior.com and start living clean today.
Hi, everyone. It's Bernadette. Everyone knows that I'm a strong believer in the numerous health benefits of cannabinoids and CBD oils. As with any supplement, I always do my research and my homework to find the highest quality product on the market. That's why I'm so happy to announce our partnership with the H Hemp Company, founded by a group of the most experienced and respected names in the CBD community. H Hemp offers a line of innovative products that are all natural and tested for quality. Choose from flavorful oils, restorative body balm, and minty breath spray, all at affordable prices. And for every H Hemp product sold, the company makes a donation towards the fight against opioid and anti-anxiety drug addiction, an epidemic affecting millions of families across the nation today. H Hemp products produce a sense of calm, fight post-workout inflammation, and the company gives back to our community. What more could we ask for? Search online for H Hemp Company and use the code OLR for 20% off your first order. That's OLR for 20% off your first order.
Hi, I'm Bob Barker. This is my friend Benny. Before you buy cosmetics, personal care, or household products, you be sure they have not been tested on animals. Everything from floor cleaner to shampoo is poured into animals' eyes and down their throats. They suffer intensely. Some even go blind. The price is never right for products tested